Welcome to our exploration of teaching methods based on Peter Westwood's influential work. In today's educational landscape, teachers face a variety of choices when it comes to how they deliver knowledge and skills. Understanding the principles behind different teaching methods is crucial for creating effective learning environments. This video will guide you through the evolution of teaching approaches, from traditional direct instruction to modern student-centered techniques. We'll discuss the strengths and limitations of each and how they can be tailored to meet the diverse needs of students. Let's begin by setting the stage for why teaching methods matter and how they shape classroom experiences. Teaching methods have evolved significantly over the past century. In the early 1900s, classrooms were dominated by teacher-directed instruction, with a strong emphasis on textbooks, drills, and mastery of subject matter. Teachers would lecture, demonstrate, and assign desk work, with little focus on how students actually learned. Over time, educational research and psychology began to influence classroom practices. By the 1950s, project approaches and group work started to emerge, slowly shifting the focus toward more active and engaging learning experiences. This evolution set the stage for the debates and innovations that continue to shape teaching today. Constructivism emerged as a powerful force in education, emphasizing that learners construct their own understanding through first-hand experiences and reflection. Influenced by theorists like Dewey, Piaget, and Brunner, constructivism shifted the focus from passive reception of information to active engagement. In constructivist classrooms, students are encouraged to explore, ask questions, and collaborate with peers. The teacher's role becomes that of a facilitator, guiding students as they build knowledge. This approach has led to the development of learner-centered methods, such as inquiry-based and discovery learning, which prioritize meaningful, authentic activities over rote memorization. At the heart of constructivism are several key principles. Learning is seen as an active process, where new information is linked to prior knowledge and experience. Social interaction and communication play a vital role as students discuss, share ideas, and receive feedback. The classroom becomes a community of learners with an emphasis on authentic, meaningful activities. Terms like scaffolding, experiential learning, and knowledge construction are central to this philosophy. The goal is to help students become inquisitive, inventive, and reflective thinkers who are confident in exploring and exchanging ideas. Active learning is closely tied to constructivist principles. In classrooms that embrace active learning, students take the lead in acquiring information and developing skills. They interact with their environment, work in groups, and engage in meaningful discussions. The teacher acts as a facilitator, providing support and encouragement rather than direct instruction. This approach assumes that students are self-motivated and capable of self-regulation. Activities are designed to be relevant and engaging, helping students develop fundamental skills as byproducts of authentic experiences. However, critics argue that not all students thrive in such environments, especially those who need more structure and guidance. While constructivism has many strengths, it's important to examine its limitations. Some educators question whether learners can only construct meaning for themselves, or if knowledge can also be effectively conveyed through direct teaching. Research suggests that clear explanations and modeling by teachers can greatly facilitate understanding, especially for students with less background knowledge. Additionally, constructivist methods may not be suitable for all areas of learning or for all students. For example, foundational skills in literacy and numeracy often require more explicit instruction, particularly for young or struggling learners. Cognitive load theory, CLT, has raised important questions about the effectiveness of unstructured, discovery-based learning. CLT research shows that learners can become overwhelmed when faced with too much information or too many choices, especially without sufficient guidance. This can lead to cognitive overload, where learning is hindered rather than helped. To address this, instructional materials and methods should break tasks into manageable steps and provide adequate support. Critics of CLT argue that most modern inquiry-based approaches do include scaffolding, but the balance between guidance and independence remains a key consideration. Direct teaching, also known as explicit or systematic instruction, is characterized by clear objectives, structured lessons, and ongoing assessment. Teachers present information in a logical sequence, model skills, and provide guided practice with immediate feedback. This approach is rooted in behavioral theories of learning, emphasizing modeling, imitation, and reinforcement. Direct teaching is especially effective for foundational skills such as reading, spelling, and mathematics, where clarity and structure help students build a solid knowledge base. It's a method that aims to eliminate misunderstandings and ensure mastery of essential content. Eric Rosenshine's research identified 6 major components of effective direct teaching: daily review, clear presentation of new material, guided practice, immediate correction and feedback, independent practice, and regular reviews. These elements work together to create a learning environment where students can steadily build and reinforce their skills. The structure provided by this model has influenced teacher education programs and is appreciated for its clarity and effectiveness, especially in subjects that require step-by-step mastery. Direct instruction (DI) model developed by Engelman and colleagues is a highly structured, teacher-directed approach. Originally designed for at-risk and disadvantaged students, DI uses scripted lessons, small ability-based groups, and frequent choral responses to maximize participation and learning. Lessons are fast-paced with clear objectives and immediate feedback. DI is particularly effective for teaching basic language, literacy, and numeracy skills, ensuring that all students have a strong foundation for future learning. However, it requires specific training and a school-wide commitment for successful implementation. Direct instruction is most suitable for teaching well-defined information and skills that need to be mastered in a specific sequence. Research shows that it leads to significant gains in achievement, especially in areas like mathematics, reading, and science facts. It's also effective for teaching cognitive strategies such as summarizing text or solving problems. However, direct instruction is less appropriate for fostering creativity, emotional development, or social skills, where more open-ended, student-centered approaches may be needed. Despite its proven effectiveness, direct instruction is sometimes criticized for being too prescriptive and rigid. Some teachers feel uncomfortable with scripted lessons and the lack of flexibility for creativity. DI is more commonly used in special education and remedial contexts than in mainstream classrooms. Implementing DI requires specific training, changes to school timetables, and a commitment to small group instruction. While it's not a one-size-fits-all solution, direct instruction remains a valuable tool, especially for students who need clear, structured guidance. Interactive whole-class teaching is a less structured form of direct teaching that encourages high levels of student engagement. Teachers present information, then invite students to participate in discussions, ask questions, and share ideas. This approach is widely used in countries with high student achievement and is recommended for raising attainment in literacy and numeracy. Teachers need strong skills in questioning, adaptability, and managing group dynamics to ensure that all students are involved and learning effectively. No single teaching method is suitable for all subjects or learning goals. The key is to select methods that fit the context, the content, and the needs of the students. Direct methods are most effective for foundational skills and structured learning, while student-centered approaches are better for fostering independence, creativity, and higher-order thinking. The emerging consensus is not about which method is best overall, but which is best for a particular purpose. Flexibility and professional judgment are essential for effective teaching. Direct teaching can take many forms, from traditional lectures to interactive sessions and one-on-one tutoring. Regardless of the format, effective direct teaching requires careful planning, clear explanations, and ongoing assessment. Teachers must manage time efficiently, use engaging materials, and adapt their delivery to the needs of the group. The effectiveness of direct teaching depends on the teacher's skills, the organization of content, and the relevance of the material to students' lives. Lectures are a classic form of direct teaching, often used to present key information quickly and efficiently. They are most appropriate for older students who have the skills and motivation to benefit from this approach. However, lectures can be ineffective if students are passive or lack the background knowledge to follow the material. To enhance lectures, teachers can incorporate questioning, discussion, and visual aids, making the experience more interactive and engaging. Even with young children, teachers often begin lessons with a brief introduction or mini-lecture. This helps to motivate students, set the stage for learning, and provide clear instructions. Mini-lectures can include demonstrations, visual materials, and written instructions to support understanding. The balance between direct teaching and student activity is important, as most lessons benefit from a mix of both approaches. After introducing a lesson, teachers often guide students through follow-up activities that reinforce new concepts. This stage, known as guided practice, allows teachers to monitor progress, correct misconceptions, and provide additional support. As students gain confidence, they move to independent practice, applying their skills without supervision. Regular review and practice help ensure that learning is maintained and transferred to new situations. Research strongly supports the use of direct teaching methods for establishing basic skills in reading, spelling, writing, and mathematics. These foundational skills are essential for later independent learning and success in more complex, less structured activities. Direct teaching provides the clarity and structure needed to ensure that all students, especially those who struggle, have the opportunity to master essential content. Student-centered methods are rooted in constructivist views of learning. These approaches are highly appropriate when the goal is to develop independent study skills, autonomy, and collaborative abilities. Student-centered methods include inquiry-based learning, discovery learning, problem-based learning, project-based learning, and resource-based learning. The focus is on active involvement, real-life contexts, and the development of effective learning strategies. Inquiry-based learning encourages students to ask questions, plan investigations, gather data, and think critically about evidence. This method is especially effective in subjects like science, social studies, and mathematics, where students benefit from discovering principles and understanding how knowledge is constructed. Inquiry-based learning helps students develop deeper understanding and transferable skills, preparing them for lifelong learning. Discovery learning is a form of inquiry-based learning where students investigate topics or problems through active exploration. They gather information, interpret causes and effects, and draw conclusions. Discovery learning is most effective when carefully structured, with teachers providing necessary support and scaffolding. While it promotes motivation and independence, it can be time-consuming and may not suit all learners, especially those lacking prerequisite skill. Guided discovery, teachers set clear objectives, provide initial explanations, and offer suggestions for investigation. Students work individually or in groups to collect and interpret data, share findings, and refine their understanding. The teacher's role is to keep students on track, clarify misconceptions, and help draw meaningful conclusions. This approach balances independence with support, making it a motivating and effective method for many learners. Discovery learning offers many benefits, such as active involvement, meaningful activities, and the development of investigative skills. It encourages independence and builds on prior knowledge. However, it can be inefficient for some students, especially those with limited skills or background knowledge. Without proper structure and support, students may become confused or fail to grasp key concepts. Teachers must carefully design and monitor discovery activities to ensure effective learning. Problem-based learning presents students with real-life issues or problems that require investigation and decision-making. Students work in small groups, developing research, teamwork, and critical thinking skills. PBL is motivating and helps students integrate knowledge from different disciplines. However, it can be challenging for students who lack the necessary background or flexibility in thinking. Teachers must balance facilitation with guidance to ensure a successful outcome. Project-based learning involves students in complex tasks that require design, problem-solving, and investigation. Projects are authentic and often connect to real-world issues, allowing students to work autonomously and present their findings. This method develops deeper knowledge, higher-order thinking, and teamwork skills. However, it requires students to have strong research and organizational abilities, and teachers must ensure that projects are meaningful and not just window dressing. Resource-based learning empowers students to actively process information using a variety of authentic resources. They learn to use libraries, electronic searches, interviews, and other tools to gather and analyze information. This approach fosters autonomy, research skills, and ICT competence. However, it requires a resource-rich environment, and students must have adequate literacy and study skills to benefit fully. Computer-assisted learning, CAL uses technology to enhance instruction, offering interactive programs, simulations, and access to information. CAL can motivate students, individualize learning, and provide immediate feedback. However, research shows that technology alone does not guarantee higher achievement. The quality of instruction and integration with other methods is key. Teachers need confidence and skills to effectively incorporate CAL into their teaching. Choosing the right teaching method also depends on the characteristics of the students. Factors such as age, ability, motivation, and background all influence which approaches will be most effective. Teachers must adapt their methods to meet the needs of young learners, gifted students, those with learning difficulties, and students with disabilities. Professional judgment and flexibility are essential for creating inclusive and effective classrooms. Young children in preschool and early primary years, developmentally appropriate practice DAP is key. Activities should be hands-on, play-based, and tailored to children's developmental levels. The learning environment must be safe, secure, and supportive of exploration and social interaction. While some critics argue that young children can handle more formal instruction, most research supports the value of respecting individual differences and readiness for learning. Gifted students require differentiated instruction to reach their full potential. Strategies include individualized programs, curriculum compacting, subject acceleration, ability grouping, mentoring, and withdrawal sessions. Inquiry and problem-based learning are particularly effective, as they challenge gifted students to think creatively and critically. Teachers should set high expectations, offer choice, and make use of students' special interests to keep them engaged and motivated. To effectively teach gifted students, teachers can use strategies such as learning contracts, curriculum compacting, subject acceleration, cluster grouping, and mentoring. Flexible grouping and peer tutoring also provide opportunities for gifted students to collaborate and share their expertise. It's important to avoid under-challenging these students and to provide meaningful, engaging activities that promote higher-level thinking. Students with learning difficulties benefit most from structured, goal-oriented instruction with abundant opportunities for practice and application. Direct teaching methods combined with strategy instruction have been shown to be the most effective. Teachers should break tasks into manageable steps, provide clear modeling, and use small interactive groups to support learning. Differentiation and accommodations are essential to meet the diverse needs of these students. As practice for students with learning difficulties involves a balanced program that combines direct teaching of essential skills with more functional and creative elements. For example, in reading, explicit instruction in phonics and decoding should be paired with opportunities for meaningful reading and discussion. In mathematics, direct teaching of basic skills should be complemented by problem-solving activities. Differentiation and ongoing assessment help ensure that all students make progress. Teaching students with disabilities requires both adaptation and inclusion. Methods may be similar to those used in mainstream classrooms, but with necessary modifications to accommodate physical, sensory, or intellectual challenges. The focus should be on improving access to the learning environment, using assistive technology, and providing individualized support. Teachers must understand the specific needs of each student and work closely with specialists when needed. Students with physical disabilities may need modifications to seating, equipment, and access routes to participate fully in classroom activities. Assistive technology such as specialized desks, wheelchairs, or communication devices can help remove barriers to learning. Teachers should focus on creating an inclusive environment and ensuring that all students have the opportunity to engage with the curriculum. For students with impaired vision, teachers should use enlarged text, clear verbal explanations, and assistive devices like magnifiers or braille. It's important to allow extra time for tasks, provide accessible materials, and train peers to offer support. Teachers should maintain high expectations and encourage students to use their remaining vision and other senses to access the curriculum. Students with hearing impairment benefit from visual methods of instruction, clear and simple language, and the use of hearing aids or FM systems. Teachers should face the student when speaking, minimize background noise, and provide written instructions. It's also helpful to seat the student where they can see the teacher and classmates easily and to check frequently for understanding. Students with intellectual disabilities require structured, step-by-step instruction and frequent practice. The curriculum should focus on daily living skills, communication, and basic academic skills, using behavioral methods like modeling, imitation, and reinforcement. Activity-based and functional approaches help students develop independence and prepare for life beyond school. Teachers should set realistic goals and celebrate progress, no matter how small. Inclusive classrooms benefit from flexible grouping, peer tutoring, and differentiated assignments. Teachers should use a variety of instructional methods to reach all learners, adapting materials and activities as needed. Collaboration with specialists, aides, and families is essential for supporting students with diverse needs. The goal is to create a supportive environment where every student can succeed. Most effective teachers are those who can balance different teaching methods to suit the needs of their students and the demands of the curriculum. Combining direct instruction with student-centered approaches allows for both mastery of basic skills and the development of higher-order thinking. Ongoing assessment and reflection help teachers adjust their methods and ensure that all students are making progress. Persistent challenge in education is bridging the gap between research and classroom practice. While much of the debate about teaching methods takes place in academic journals, teachers need accessible, practical guidance to implement effective strategies. Professional development, collaboration, and reflective practice are key to staying informed and making evidence-based decisions in the classroom. Education is constantly evolving with new research, technologies, and societal changes influencing teaching methods. Teachers must be adaptable, willing to try new approaches, and open to ongoing learning. By staying flexible and responsive to students' needs, teachers can create dynamic, effective classrooms that prepare students for the challenges of the future. Summary: effective teaching requires a deep understanding of different methods and the ability to match them to students' needs and learning goals. Both direct and student-centered approaches have important roles to play. Teachers should use evidence-based strategies, differentiate instruction, and create inclusive environments. By reflecting on their practice and staying informed, teachers can help all students achieve their full potential. As we look to the future, the ongoing development of teaching methods will continue to shape education. Teachers play a vital role in adapting research into practice and ensuring that every student has the opportunity to succeed. By embracing a variety of approaches and remaining committed to professional growth, educators can make a lasting impact on their students and the wider community.